Hello everyone and welcome to Helix Cloud Games. My name is Richie and this is SideQuest, a cloud gaming topical discussion show where we do a deep dive into one topic. On this week's show we are talking about the top selling games of all time, and joining me on this quest is Mr. Chris.
Hello gamers.
I stumbled for my intro because I'm not well and I've had too much coffee. But before we get into it, sorry.
Is that because you're unwell or is that because you're hyped up on caffeine then?
Because I've got a pretty bad cough, so I haven't slept well. So I made sure I had a cup of coffee before recording Sounds of Stadia podcast. So I actually went to Costa through the drive-thru, so I'm not infecting other people. But I forget I'm a lightweight for caffeine now because I don't drink much. And basically I went for a year and a half without drinking any, and it just blew my head off.
You're feeling good, are you?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good.
I
will be.
That you've had a cough and then you get coffee.
Coffee, yeah, maybe not.
It's the miracle cure for everything.
It's a cure that's going to get me through these 2.5 hours of podcast recording. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that bell icon for notifications when all of our great shows go live, such as Sounds of Stadia podcast every single Monday on YouTube and podcast services, where you can also get SideQuest, and our Thursday night live streams, where Chris, last week I abandoned you to play World War Z Aftermath on your own because I was not well.
But I didn't play it on my own because we have an awesome community of Stadia and cloud gamers out there who jumped in and helped me defeat the hordes, and I completed episode 2 Jerusalem in no time whatsoever. So shout out to you awesome viewers and listeners out there who gamed along with me. And check us out every Thursday if you want to play games. We might be back with Aftermath again because we're still waiting on Deliver Us the Moon. It's somewhere, but we don't know where.
When it comes, we will have that stream for you.
We will indeed.
So, Chris, the top-selling games of all time, I think what we'll do is we'll just go through the list and kind of give our impressions of... There's some surprising stuff on this list, actually, when we were pulling the show together. Give our impressions of the game, and do we think... Is it on Stadia? Do we think it's likely to come to Stadia? And just kind of give a general talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we got to this is I was listening to another podcast this week. And they were
Stealing ideas.
Stealing ideas, yeah. No. Sharing, collaborating in ideas. And they were talking about some of the best-selling games of all time, and it just got me really curious about how many games are on the Stadia platform that are actually up there in the top-selling games of all time. And some of this, when you look at the list and when we break down the list, some of them are surprising, and it just leads me to think what are the highest rating games? And it's kind of looking at Stadia through a different lens that isn't always necessarily it's old games, because just because they're old doesn't mean they're not well revered or classics or deservedly so massive selling units.
Yeah. One thing I want us to do as well as we go through this list is kind of go, he's a game, because Stadia, we know that they've kind of not willing to drop big bags of cash on every AAA game coming out, but this is potentially a list of all the games where it might be worth them going, you know what, we're going to drop a bag of cash on a port of this game. So I think that's a lens we can look at as well, going, do we think it's likely to come? Do we think Stadia should aggressively go after it? So,
I like it.
Do you want to start at the top or the bottom of the list?
Well, I mean, it's the top-selling games of all time, so everything on this list is deservedly here. We're not gonna. There's no shitty games getting on this list.
We're talking everything on this list it's just a wiki list of sales, and everything is sold over 20 million copies.
So there's no duds on this list.
No, there might be games that people don't like, or some of them are grouped together. But so top or bottom, Chris?
We'll start from the top. Why not?
Start from the top. Number 1 with 238 million copies sold, which is insane, and it's way out in front of everything else, is Minecraft.
Never coming.
I agree.
Next.
In the past, before Xbox bought it, I think it was likely, but I know
Xbox had it well before Stadia even existed, so I don't think it was ever a possibility.
Yeah, it is multi-platform now, but I think that's more than honouring the fact that it is on things like Sony and the Nintendo platforms. I don't think it's coming.
Yeah, Minecraft Dungeons was kind of maybe a possibility because they published that after the fact. and it still went to other platforms. But I just don't think Microsoft owe anything to Google or Stadia in any way, shape, or form. So why would
with how Microsoft vocally sees Stadia as one of their biggest competition in cloud gaming?
Yeah,
they're not going to give them a helping hand.
No, not at all. But you know what? Shout out to Minecraft. Like, I had my time with Minecraft back in 2013 maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away by these figures. Like you said, 238. It's so far ahead of the next competitor, the next on the list. It's insane. Nothing's ever catching Minecraft.
It's 10 years old. It was launched on November 18th, 2011. Mm-hmm. Sorry for going the American way. That's just how it's written in front of me. And it's still relevant. That kind of shows you what this game's about. Anyway, moving on to number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 5 with 160 million games, launched on September the 17th, 2013. What do you think?
Obviously, we've just had the next-gen versions come out. The physical next-gen versions are due out imminently, I believe. They've just signed off on those. We've had the rumours. We had the rumours that the remastered trilogy was supposed to be coming to Stadia. We had that back at probably this time last year. I probably think those rumours were actually about. Everyone got excited, and then nothing happened. When you said at the beginning of the show, like which titles should Stadia go aggressively after if they do have any funding for this year whatsoever, Grand Theft Auto 5 is undoubtedly one of the smartest choices they could possibly go for.
Absolutely.
Rockstar are familiar with the platform. We have Red Dead Redemption 2. 2K published on the platform. Like there's relationships that have existed, albeit they might have been 3 years ago nearly at this point. But if you're going to rekindle something and put your eggs in one basket, Easter pun intended, it's Easter Sunday when we're recording this, then yeah, GTA 5 has to be one of the smartest deals you could go for.
Yeah, and with the next gen port, and did they bring out online as a separate thing as well?
It is, yeah, it's its own thing now.
So even if they brought out just online, get a crossplay, I just want, you know what's absolutely absurd as well? 160 million copies, still one of the most, it's still on sales chart to this day, and it's a massive 80 million behind Minecraft.
Yep.
Which is insane. The number 5 on this list doesn't even hit 80 million. That's the difference between 1 and 2. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy numbers. I have a lot of love for Grand Theft Auto. I haven't played one since GTA 5, but I had my time with it back when it launched in 2013. It's been nearly a decade. So if it did come across, I've got that in the cloud would give me the perfect reason to jump back in and play those storylines again and check out online with you and the community a bit more. And we said for ages, it's very doubtful Call of Duty was going to come and a bunch of other games because they were exclusives. You're not going to see any Nintendo games. It's what can Google do to get in on that? And we've touted Fortnite in the past, but then because the Epic relationships, you'd never know. GTA at this moment in time is still an independent developer / publisher, which it could feasibly happen, and it should. And yeah, if you're a betting man, you got to put your money somewhere, and why not on the second biggest selling game of all time and still going?
And with the next gen ports around the corner, it seems like a smart move. But moving on to number 3.
Not around the corner, they're out now.
Yeah. Are they out now? Yeah. Well, there you go.
It's the physical releases now.
So do it. This is one Google get out your wallet, give them a bag of cash, and get it over. It will actually. It's one of the most asked for games on Stadia as well. But moving on to number 3. This is a weird one because it's Tetris. Not because Tetris is weird, but this is the EA version of Tetris. Mm-hmm. Because Tetris also comes in at number 10. But we'll focus on this one. 100 million copies. Yeah. And this is the EA mobile version of it.
Yeah.
Give me some Tetris on Stadia.
I mean, Tetris is one of those classics, isn't it? Where it doesn't take... You can figure the game out within a few seconds of using it. I had it on the original Game Boy back when I was literally a child, and it's just so easy to pick up and play. My mum has had the, where you could just get the little Tetris games on a keychain, as a standalone item. That was
what Tetris is for me? Tetris is kind of a perfect game where you could just on your lunch break, you got half an hour, you eat your sandwich, and just play a couple of rounds of Tetris. It's that very casual thing, which I think would actually do quite well on Stadia. And I know it's a mobile game. We've been a bit funny about it in the past, but it's Tetris. Tetris is in a tier of its own. It's the 3rd and 10th most best-selling games for a reason.
Yeah. When did EA acquire it?
Well, this one was initially released in September the 12th, 2006.
Damn.
I don't know if they own Tetris outright or if they own the rights to the mobile. But bring Tetris over. Moving on to number 4 is Wii Sports, 82.9 million. Don't think we need to talk about that. Bundled in with the Wii, highly successful. Never come to Stadia.
No.
Not really surprised it's on the list, to be honest.
Not at all. I am interested to know over the coming, I think, Nintendo Switch Sports is due out this summer. And I'd be interested to see, obviously it's not, I don't think it's going to be a pack-in unless there's another Switch on the horizon, but I'd be interested to see how the legacy holds up.
I can see a bundle. Like, you know, you sometimes get games, buy a Switch and you get this game in the bundle. I can see absolutely milking that.
Oh, yeah. But that obviously, this one had the benefit of it was everything from day one.
Yeah.
You didn't even get a case with it. It was just a disc, right? I don't think you actually
can't
got
remember,
a box with the disc. It was like a sleeve.
Because the Wii was something very new to video games with like it being motion controls.
Yeah.
I think they needed this big hit to tiny tech demo, and this was Wii Sports. But moving on a bit quicker into a game, we do have PUBG Battlegrounds, formerly known as PUBG.
Yeah.
75 million copies sold, and it's on Stadia.
It is. It's the best battle royale on Stadia as far as I'm concerned. PUBG. It's an interesting one because up until as recent as this February, this game, the reason you won't see Fortnite or Apex Legends in here is because it's free to play, so it can't be the best-selling game if you're not physically buying it with any cash. PUBG, up until this February, was still purchasable for like £20 odd. I think it dropped itself down now, and it's only now bit the bullet and went free. But of course, Richie, PUBG was the front runner of the Battle Royale craze that swept the gaming industry.
PUBG is the one that, when Battle Royale took off, it was PUBG. PUBG is what kind of broke this genre through. And then Fortnite rebranded itself and appealed to a wider audience and did it arguably in a more polished fashion and completely dominated the world. But PUBG is what kind of kicked that off. Without PUBG, you don't get Fortnite, I honestly think. Right now,
you get Fortnite. You just got the shitty Save the World version of Fortnite that
was a flop.
Didn't go anywhere, and just that was it. But it's just crazy to think, man. 75 million is an impressive feat for a game that's still to this day very buggy.
I think
and it doesn't have the best graphics.
They need to take some of that 75 million sales money and kind of bring out. I think the world's ready for PUBG 2.
Whatever that looks like, yeah.
Yeah, just bring basically PUBG with a new lick of paint, tighten up the mechanics a bit, and get it back out competing. Because I think it does have a loyal audience. But moving on, unless you got anything more to say.
No, I agree. I think I would.
Yeah.
I think the world is ready for another PUBG. It probably will launch as free to play, but I think you can only sit on it for so long before you need to iterate.
All right. What we're about to do is we're about to go through a run of Nintendo titles, so I'm just going to cover these quick because I don't want us to dwell on stuff that is definitely not coming. So in at number 6, Super Mario Bros. The original, 58 million. It's come to basically everything since the NES. It was boxing for the NES, which kind of revived the gaming industry in the US, so huge landmark title there. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, still bringing out content, even though it's now onto its second platform.
Yeah, I think that's going to go up as well because
that's going to
the
keep
DLC
going.
Tracks. That's going to add a massive boon this year when every new pack of tracks drops with the Nintendo Online.
I can see Mario Kart 8 potentially even hitting, eclipsing Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'd agree. Yeah,
I think eventually Super Mario Bros. Will take over again though.
Yeah,
because I think when Mario Kart 9 comes out, 8 Deluxe is kind of redundant, where the original Super Mario games is always going to be the original Super Mario games. Moving on to the Gen 1 Pokemon games, 47.5 million. Obviously, originally brought out on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and being also got ported to the DS, and it's time for them to come over to the Switch if they're not already. I have technically bought red, blue, yellow, and red again. So,
you know what? I know it won't, but in a dreamer's world, Richie, could you imagine these classics somehow end up on Stadia and you can play them on your phone with touch controls? Just boot Stadia up and there's it's ready to go.
It'd be great.
I know it'll never happen, but
well, the thing is, these are probably one of the most emulated games of all time. It just goes to show you, even if you just Nintendo brought it over to mobile, how much more good to sell.
Yeah.
Because they're not like high Twitch controls. Touchscreen is going to be fine.
Yeah. One day, emulate the Game Boy with the shape of my screen. It's the same size.
You can get emulators. Nintendo, just look up the emulators are doing and do that. Moving on to number 9, Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus, 43.8 million. Again, similar to Wii Sports, massive craze on the Wii. Not coming to Stadia.
Get that balance board.
Yeah. In at number 10, we have a tie. Our first tie. We have Tetris, the Nintendo version, bundled in with the original Game Boy. Adding another 43 million copies to Tetris's pool, which even if you add this together with the EA one, still leaves it in just number 3 and shy of Grand Theft Auto 5. So Tetris taking up 2 of the top 10 spots still doesn't. It's insane, these top games. And also Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
another one we got in Stadia.
Our second Stadia title. It's actually shocking how popular Red Dead Redemption 2 actually is. Like, don't get me wrong, great game, absolutely loved it to pieces, but I didn't realise it was that popular. Like, it's actually crazy to think it's sold that well. Like, Red Dead Redemption 1 isn't on this list, so like, how did it garner so much goodwill from the first game? Or do we think this is the GDA effect where it's Rockstar, so it has to be, and then everyone just scrambled and bought it?
I think it did both. What I think's happened with Red Dead 2 is Red Dead 1 was so well acclaimed. The game looks absolutely phenomenal. It was enough distance between 1 and 2 that people were really eager to get hands on the new Red Dead game. And then the success of GTA Online and the way they've incorporated that kind of idea into Red Dead 2. So this world is kind of, you can just keep living in this world. I think they just nailed it.
Yeah. I keep getting that itch to go back and play it, actually. So you've not played it, have you, Richie?
I've not played it. There's elements of it. It just didn't. I don't really like Rockstar's games, to be honest. They just don't get the hooks in me. And from what I was hearing about the reviews in Red Dead, because I was very interested, it seemed quite slow paced. And it's like, I don't know. It just didn't feel for me. I need to play it at some point.
You could be that 43,000,001 person to buy it. But I think before we move on, I just want to take pause and think top 10.
Yeah.
Right? Out of the ones that feasibly would come to Google Stadia, Minecraft, nope. Wii Sports, nope. Super Mario Bros, Mario Kart, Pokemon, Wii Fit, no. So actually,
get rid of the Nintendo block and we're more like a top 5.
So actually, Red Dead 2, PUBG, that's 2 out of 10.
Tetris is completely feasible.
Yeah. And so other than GTA, they have 2 of the best-selling games of all time on the platform. And a big chunk of that isn't through any fault of their own because they're bound to first-party studios and Nintendo. But
if we lump the Tetris in together, like it's literally 5. They've got 2 out of the 5, and 1's feasible.
Yeah, not a bad showing.
1's owned by Minecraft, and I've noticed they got, and 1's likely to come. But now into 12th with where I get a bit more accurate numbers for some reason. It's 42,071,635 copies. Yeah. God knows where they pulled that number from because it's not cited. Is Pac-Man, and it also doesn't say whether it's just the original games or whether it is the franchise. I'm going to assume franchise, but again...
See, it's an interesting one because it does say multi-platform, but when, like, the Tetris, the Nintendo Game Boy Tetris... I'd imagine Pac-Man was almost as popular as Tetris, and it's also then been on many other things as well, like arcade cabinets and stuff. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Pac-Man's had its birth in the arcades. It's hugely popular, and it's one of them games that's always going to be popular every time a new version comes out. And we have Pac-Man, so... Yeah, we have Mega Tunnel
Battle, which is so much fun. And they're just moving the expand. There's another game, I guess we can say we've got on Stadia. It's the latest Pac-Man game, right? You can play it right now on Stadia.
Yeah, it's Pac-Man. You can play it single player, just like a single Pac-Man game, or you can go into full battle royale, crazy stuff. We've had some few streams on it.
Yeah, we have. I can't imagine the lobbies of that.
No, I think they've probably died down, but I don't think it's cross. Well, it's Stadia exclusive, isn't it?
I don't think it is anymore, but it was.
Lobbies might be better.
It might still be. Memory.
But number 13. Our first pandemic game, Animal Crossing's New Horizon, with 1,620,000. Took the world by storm when it launched. Came out the right time as the world went. Literally, March 2020, as the world went into lockdown, this game launches.
Yeah. That was
perfect game, perfect time. Like, it's one of them. Nintendo must be like, oh my god, pandemic, we've just nailed this.
In the best possible way.
Yeah, like...
it's the same with Disney Plus. Disney Plus launched at the end of March, just as we went into lockdown. We couldn't leave our homes. So what better way to spend your days than binging Disney content and playing Animal Crossing New Horizons on your on your Switch?
And because it was a social game as well, it gave people who were like, now can't go see the friends and family way of interacting. Perfect game, perfect time.
It did.
It did. But obviously, Nintendo exclusive, never going to come to Stadia.
Nope.
As is Mario Kart Wii, who comes in at 14 for 37,380,000. We've already talked about Mario Kart. Great game. Never come to Stadia.
Nope.
Moving on to our 15th place, Terraria. 35 million is on Stadia.
It is, yeah. It always takes me a moment for pause when we say Terraria, because I always get that and Stardew Valley mixed up.
Yeah.
Of course, Terraria almost didn't come to the platform. If anyone remembers back in the day, the sole developer of the game had a problem where he couldn't access his Lord of the Rings movie collection on his Gmail account. So he straight up just went, I'm not playing with these anymore. I'm not bringing the game to the platform. And then obviously they had business discussions in the background, and the game did actually come to Pro, if I'm not mistaken. Did it not?
Yeah. Yes, I believe it did.
I've got it claimed. Yeah, it came to Pro. So there's another game, one of the top sellers. So the top 15 games, that's, if we throw Pac-Man in there, we throw Terraria in there, that's another 2 games on the platform in the best selling of all time.
Yeah, and by June of 2015, it's all over 12 million. So it had a really good launch, but I think it's probably had another spike because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It feels like one of them. But moving on to another Nintendo block of games. Wii Sports Resort in the 16th, New Super Mario Bros. In the 17th, and New Super Mario Bros. Wii at 18th, all ranging from 330 million to about 33 million. Never come to Stadia. Let's move on.
How did Nintendo do it, Richie?
It's almost as if they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's almost as though the veterans of the games industry, yeah.
5. And in at 19th, we have a 5-way tie.
Oof.
All reported around about 30 million. Numbers might be more exact now, but then this article. But we have Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Diablo 3 / Reaper of Souls, The Witcher 3 and its DLC, and Human Fall Flat, which was surprising when I looked at this list.
We'll get to Human Fall Flat. I think we'll probably end the list around that mark, actually. But Elder Scrolls, you know what the biggest shame about that is? Now Bethesda and Microsoft owned. The joke of Skyrim being on everything.
Yeah,
it's apart from Stadia and Luna. It's like, come on, you like Microsoft, just make a deal just so the meme can still live on. Please, you can play it on a smart fridge, but you can't play it on a cloud gaming platform. Just like forget the rivalry, forget the business deals. Let's just get Elder Scrolls 5 on Stadia and Luna and everything else.
I think keep it going. The moment Microsoft bought Bethesda, any chance of this coming was kind of done.
Yeah, which is a shame, because I think early doors, obviously, Bethesda were big supporters of Stadia. We got Doom and a bunch of other titles, and it was like, oh, Skyrim will inevitably come one day, right? Surely, is the joke goes on.
Yeah, because with Bethesda being one of like the biggest supporters out of the gate, it was like, it's a shame, but I don't think we're getting it. But you can play Skyrim basically everywhere else, and nowadays, I think it's because it's a 2011 game. Anything you've got lying around that can play games, it's probably going to be fine to play that game.
That's true.
Original Modern Warfare, I put a lot of time into this when it first came out. Back when I actually was a Call of Duty fan. Not going to ever come to Stadia. Don't think it was ever come to Stadia under just Activision. But now it's Microsoft, even less so.
Yeah, agreed. It's done and dusted, I think, unfortunately.
Similar thing, idea of Diablo 3. Blizzard seemed to have no interest in Stadia. Activision, again. And Microsoft owned, unlikely. Witcher 3, this is one that's possible.
We spoke about it on this week's podcast.
We did talk about it.
We did. Obviously, the next-gen ports were due out this summer. The CD Projekt Red have since brought the port over in-house. They've taken it away from Saber Interactive in Russia. Delayed indefinitely, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be out imminently. Probably my take is it's probably going to be out by the end of the year. And I think a lot of us Stadia fans have been clinging on to the hope that CD Projekt had such a technical success with the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. It did a big boon for the platform. It did well. It played better than it did on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. There was always that like, oh, surely there's enough goodwill garnered and a business deal in place to bring one of the biggest selling games of all time in The Witcher 3. If they're doing an next-gen port, surely, please give us a version of it in the cloud. And we still don't quite know, but I'm still hopeful.
I'm hopeful. I really want to see it come. I'm not sure it will be next gen. I think you're going to get better performance out of the Xbox and PlayStation, but
you might
you're always going to get better performance off local hardware than cloud gaming. That is literally just going to be the reality as long as they coexist.
But if there's a port on the Nintendo Switch, I damn right feel like it can run on Google Stadia.
Yeah,
better in fact. Please.
Yeah. And to kind of cap things off, Human Fall Flat at 30 million? I like Human Fall Flat. It's a fun game.
I do.
I had to do some research on this because this is the biggest surprise of this list for me.
Yeah, same.
And turns out, I think in China, this game really hit in the pandemic, like in a really big way.
Like Horizon Animal Crossing levels of like, that was their Animal Crossing, I believe.
Yeah, like it just seemed to explode. Like in like 2017, they're getting over like 1 million. Come February 2021, they're hitting 25 million, and now it's over. China seems to love Human Fall Flat, and I mean, to No Break Games, well done. You've done well. You found the market for it.
Yeah, they marketed the shit out of this game, and it clearly paid dividends.
This is probably insane. Their Fall Guys, like.
Yeah, probably is. To put that into perspective, like we won't go into the rest of the list, but I just want to shout out: Human Fall Flat has sold more copies than Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Call of Duty Black Ops. What else is there? Pokemon
Borderlands
Diamond
2, which is likely to get in Stadia. It's possible.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Mario 64.
It's outsold the best-selling FIFA game.
Human Fall Flat, everyone. And also
on Stadia.
It's on Stadia. So there you go.
The biggest prize. I'm just looking through the list to see if there's any others we could bring out. There's a lot of Nintendo. Sonic is gettable. Bring Sonic over.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Sonic on that Olympics game.
Get Sonic over properly. Obviously, FIFA we have. Keep them coming. Call of Duty's off the list. And there's a lot of Pokemon games. Borderlands 2 is probably the only other gettable.
We've got Borderlands 3. Borderlands 2, the Handsome Jack thing, was rated like 2 years ago now. Yeah. ESRB rated for Stadia, and then we never had any of it, and we didn't get Tiny Tina's Wonderland, so something happened over there.
A few more I want to just throw out there, looking at moving over to franchise list rather than just individual games. Lego games coming in over 200 million across the franchise. Gettable.
Could have got them. We could have had Lego Star Wars.
The Sims. 4 games plus DLC, 200 million copies. That's gettable.
Yeah, The Sims has been one of our biggest touted ones for you and me, saying like it fits that keyboard mouse hybrid Stadia to controller world so well.
It's a perfect Stadia game. It hits the casual market, which they're aiming at. It's a really good quality. Even like hardcore gamers like The Sims, bring it. Other ones, things like Final Fantasy, 164 million across the franchise. We won because some games are exclusive, some are not. That's just things. Resident Evil, 123 million. We have some games, keep them coming. Star Wars. Creed. Yeah, Assassin's Creed's on there.
Creed's up there, 155 million sold across the franchise.
I just kind of glossed over because it's Ubisoft. Yeah, that'll come.
Standard, yeah, that'll definitely be coming. But
Star Wars just shy of 120 million across the franchise. Getting handled by Disney now, and really likely to come. We've got Tomb Raider, Dragon Quest in like the 80 millions. Tom Clancy's 82 million. There's a lot of stuff that could come with
There's a lot of stuff that is there as well. It's just the consistency going forward, and again to kind of bring it all round, I guess, Richie, is that the people over at Team Stadia, Google Stadia, when they're doling out the cash and they're looking at making these deals with developers and publishers and stuff, surely this list is like a really good indication of like what you need on your platform to make it legit. And it's to have the biggest selling franchises and IP of all time. Like, don't hang around in the doldrums getting new upcoming games that you think might work. Like, that will help. But, like, things like not having Sonic the Hedgehog on your platform, for a game's platform to not have Sonic the Hedgehog, when there's a multi-million successful movie just launched, there's a new game coming out later this year, and you don't have any Sonic games whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I mean...
It's a bit weird.
This is just a Wikipedia list I'm looking at, and Lego, there's been a new Lego game come out. It's in the over 200 million. It's one of the most successful game franchises of all time, and it's gettable. It's not like behind a publisher who doesn't do cloud gaming, or it's not an exclusive. There's no reason behind it.
Remember, Richie, these Lego games as well are made by people who, AT&T, Warner Brothers, who actively have a business partnership with Stadia to do white labeling for the Arkham game for AT&T customers.
Yeah, like.
But let's wrap up on a good note. Plenty of franchises and IP here, top selling games of all time. They are available right now to play on Google Stadia, and that's a good thing. For 2.5 years in, you've got some of the biggest. Just go out and get the rest now.
I mean, I'm just still baffled by Human Fall Flat, because as much as it is a fun game, its Metacritic's in the 70s, so it's like, it's not like game changing. But that's all we have time for this week. If you like the video, hit that like button and consider becoming a member for as little as 99p, where you can get early access to this very show. And if you've got an idea for a topic you want to let us discuss, let us know in the comments of the video on our Discord server. And a big shout out to everyone this week who actually has, because in our Sounds of Stadia podcast, we actually had to put an extra segment in for quick fire questions to cover everyone who'd been writing in. So thank you very much for that. And with that, I've been Richie.
I've been Chris.
Quest completed.